My office charges Netanyahu and Gallant as co-perpetrators and as superiors in the commission of these alleged crimes.
This is a brave man. There will be more of the charges on the end of the video, so stay tuned. This is your favorite half Chinese. So why is he brave? Well, very simple, because he is being threatened by the most aggressive country in the world right now, the United States of Incompetence. So here is the threat. I take some excerpts out of the letter written to the ICC prosecutor, Mr. Khan. Finally, neither Israel nor the United States are members of the ICC and are therefore outside of your organization's supposed jurisdiction. If you issue a warrant for the arrest of the Israeli leadership, we will interpret this not only as a threat to Israel's sovereignty, but to the sovereignty of the United States of Incompetence. Our country demonstrated in the American Service Members Protection Act the length to which we will go to protect that sovereignty. Alright, so this is a lot. There is more coming with the real bold threat to Mr. Khan and his employees and associates and family and the Netherlands. Let's first analyze this line. So finally, neither Israel nor the United States are members of the ICC and are therefore outside of your organization's supposed jurisdiction. If you issue a warrant for the arrest of the Israeli leadership, we will interpret this not only as a threat to Israel's sovereignty, but to the sovereignty of the United States. So here they basically are saying Israel is another state of the United States of Incompetence. Remember that real good. Try to understand. It is the United States of Incompetence that sponsors this, all without the US. ICC cannot do jack. You know what. Yes, they do give some money back, but those are, if you ask me, kickbacks. It's similar like when a mob boss gives you the money to lend out for an X amount of money, he gives it to you, and every month you will pay him an X amount of money back. When your client runs, then he might help you with people to help you find him and do all sorts of nasty things to him. So they will pay up and give that money so you can pay them money back to him. It looks like the loan shark is in control of the boss, but nothing could be further than the truth. Because without the boss, the loan shark doesn't even have funds, nor the authority to put loans on the streets. Because if he does, the big boss will send his men to remove you from his territory. Similar like he does to others, which makes it look like he does it for you. But he is only protecting his own interest. So the US is the lifeline of ICC. So who controls who? ICC has no power. Their power is the United States of Incompetence and its other goons, NATO. Without the US, all protection will be gone, and they will be too. Anyways, let's move on to the next line. Our country demonstrated in the American Service Members Protection Act the lengths to which we will go to protect that sovereignty. That is the Hague Invasion Act, an act made by the big mafia boss Uncle Sam. It states that if any American will be held in The Hague for war crimes, they will invade The Hague and the Netherlands, so to speak, to get them out. So the threat is not only to Mr. Khan, the prosecutor, but also against one of their biggest allies, the Netherlands, and my city in particular, The Hague. Do we see how they are acting? Let me know in the comment section how you describe their actions. I'm really curious what your thoughts are on it. So now the full threat. The United States will not tolerate politicized attacks by the ICC on our allies. Now that is quite funny and sad at the same time, because the paragraph right before, they were threatening their ally, the Netherlands, with an invasion by naming the American Service Member Act, aka the Hague Invasion Act. Who needs an enemy when you have the US as your friend? Target Israel and we will target you. That's literally what they're saying. Now this is literally saying touch one of my soldiers and all hell will break loose. Does it sound like a mob boss or what? It could be Don Corleone, right? And then they continue. If you move forward with the measures indicated in the report, we will move to end all American support for the ICC, sanction your employees and associates, and bar you. So the United States is threatening an ICC prosecutor. his associates and employees and his family, and on top of that also are threatening the Netherlands' sovereignty with an invasion, considering the mention of the American Service Members Protection Act. Alright, now let's see what the charges are. I hope the video is long enough. Meanwhile, let me know in the comment section what you all think of this. But please keep it respectful. We are not members of the American mob from Washington. Enjoy it!
I can also confirm today that I have reasonable grounds to believe, on the basis of evidence collected and examined by my office, that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Minister of Defense Yoav Gallant bear criminal responsibility for the following international crimes committed on the territory of the State of Palestine from at least the 8th of October 2023. The crimes include starvation of civilians as a method of warfare, willfully causing great suffering, serious injury to body or health or cruel treatment, willful killing or murder, and intentionally directing attacks against a civilian population, as well as crimes against humanity of extermination and or murder, persecution, and allegations of crimes of committing other inhumane acts. It's alleged that these crimes were committed in the context of the ongoing armed conflict and as part of a widespread and systematic attack against the civilian population of Gaza, pursuant to a state policy. Unfortunately, these crimes continue to this day. My office submits that these individuals, through a common plan, have systematically deprived the civilian population of Gaza of objects indispensable to human survival. We have reached that conclusion based upon interviews with survivors, many eyewitnesses, experts, from satellite imagery, statements from Israeli officials, including the 2 individuals subject to the present application, as well as based upon several hundred authenticated videos, photographs, and audio recordings, many of which were taken and shared by victims and eyewitnesses themselves. This systematic deprivation resulted from a decision to impose a total siege on Gaza by completely closing the 3 border crossing points, Rafah, Kerem Shalom, and Erez, for extended periods of time, and by arbitrarily restricting the transportation of essential supplies, including food and medicine, through the border crossings after they were reopened. The siege, the total siege, also involved cutting off cross-border water pipelines from Israel to Gaza, which is the principal source of clean water for the population in Gaza. It was cut off for prolonged periods beginning on the 9th of October 2023, and it was accompanied by the cutting off or hindering of electricity supplies to Gaza from the 8th of October 2023 until today. That conduct took place alongside attacks that killed civilians, including people queuing for food, the obstruction of aid delivery by humanitarian organizations, and attacks on aid workers that forced many of those same humanitarian organizations to either cease operations or limit their life-saving efforts in Gaza. The tragic effect of the use of starvation as a method of warfare against Gaza's civilian population is acute, it's visible, and it's widely known, and it's confirmed by multiple witnesses and victims, including local and foreign medical doctors. That starvation has caused and continues to cause deaths, malnutrition, dehydration, and profound suffering among the population. Famine is already present in some areas of Gaza, and it is imminent in others.